Garry's Mod, or also known as Gmod, is a sandbox game where just about anything is possible, such as creating your own rocket ship, putting wheels on a couch and turning it into a car, making your own zombie apocalypse, or even playing mini-games with your friends or online is just some of the many things that you can do in this limitless game.
Yo, have you guys ever seen a flying bag of Doritos?
Yes!
Gorgeous.
It flew.
We're not here to talk about the hilarity of this game, but more of another side that I never knew existed until a few days ago, and I would like to call that section the dark side of Garry's Mod. You might be wondering, how? This is Garry's Mod, how exactly can it be scary? Well, I never thought that either, and played the game for what it was, but for the past couple weeks, YouTube has been recommending me countless, and I mean countless, Gmod investigational videos, or just very old videos from like 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago. Why I keep seeing these videos without recently searching up Gmod on YouTube was and is still beyond my understanding. Maybe the amount of new videos on the game is bringing it back to life and putting on the trending tab, which would be a little bit awesome to see, but more of that in time later. Let's get back on topic. New scary content is being made on Garry's Mod, and why could that be? Are people getting bored after a decade of the game being released? Could it be that people are just trolling other players? Or do you think that there are some truths hidden beneath all the lies? I have no clue, and in the future, I would like to find out. So what exactly am I doing in this video? I'll be exploring 5 different maps that give off a spookier feeling than they probably should, along with some myths and legends behind some of them. Most of these topics have been covered by others, and I will only be doing this because of my general curiosity. Please like and subscribe or comment letting me know that you would like to see more of this content. If you see anything creepy that I don't, say something. Chances are I'll see you in editing anyways. The first map we will be looking at today is called RP Downtown version 2. RP Downtown is a very used map for the game mode Dark RP, but when you get on the map by yourself in single player, there's just some feeling that most people can't shake off. Some would describe it as the feeling of the player being watched when they're by themselves. There is a fear called Autophobia, which means irrational fear of being watched or stared at, and it's what a lot of people feel when they're playing this map. Actually, that can go for just about all the maps that we'll be talking about in today's video. There was also another fear that I believe ties into this, and it is called canopsia, which is the atmosphere that's left behind when a populated building or big space becomes old and forgotten. Knowing that once this area was full of people and is now empty and abandoned tends to make people uneasy. Is it because humans are minuscule compared to the universe, and a building going abandoned and forgotten reminds them of how easily they themselves or others can fade away into obscurity? Speaking of fading away into obscurity, this next part is about the creator of the map. For some time now, this map was involved in a mix-up on who the real owner was, but after a little while, the real owner was found and his name was The Pro. His name can be found actually on the map, on a plaque. Apparently The Pro had some mental issues, and through an indirect report on a forum, he was said to have ended his own life after losing a battle with depression. On this forum post it said that, and it would also say that he would have delusional fits every once in a while. Whether or not this did happen, The Pro was not seen online since then, but the comments seemed to be littered with users commenting "rest in peace" and others pertaining to his death on his profile and on his maps. Before we get to exploring, let's talk about some of the ghost sightings that have been seen on this map. There are a decent amount of videos with ghost sightings in Gmod, and this map in particular, but we will be using a certain video for an example of what was seen wandering around. The user's name is Shadow Dante, and his link to this video will be below. Shadow Dante has also heard about these rumors and decided to go into the map to investigate for himself. He roams the area and runs up to the hotel in the map and ends up at a door that he cannot physically open, so he no-clips into there. And behind this door that he can't open is a room that's empty with some windows. He hits the window, breaks it completely, and spots a creature standing on a roof across from him, just staring at him, and it surely disappears afterwards. He tried to go back through the door and back in, hit the window to try to trigger it again, but nothing was there. Later in the video, he jumps down to some railroad tracks and ends up seeing a giant shadowy figure. It seems by the way he moves, he didn't see it, which is definitely weird, but I do believe that this video is fake, but gives an idea on what could be here, if there is something wandering about. After, quote, not finding much, he decides to go into the sewers to take a look around. He ends up going down even lower and sees a skull in the corner of this hallway. But if you didn't notice that, there's a figure standing behind the wall and vanishes shortly after. But Shadow Dante does not see this figure and continues on. At some point, he stops recording and is back exploring until he sees something very bizarre. It seems that he ran into the giant figure again. I'm not sure if this is real or not, but I would like to believe that it is fake. Why is there a small ghost and a giant one? It just doesn't make sense, but then again, like this video, I made it because it is very fun to think about all this. So, with the information I've told you, what now? Are these myths and legends going to make a difference to my investigation? Is knowing what I've told you going to change a difference to you and your gameplay? Does it make it scarier? And if so, why? I'm not entirely sure if I can answer it, but I know one thing, that I can explore, investigate, and find my own answers, which is what I will be doing. This next part will be me exploring RP Downtown with no commentary and no music, and we will see my results. Let me answer a question I had asked a few minutes ago. Are these myths and legends going to make a difference to my investigation? When I first wrote this question, I chuckled to myself a few times while writing the script. The closest feeling I can relate it to is a constant feeling of being on edge, and feeling like at any turn, someone or something just might jump out at you. I strongly believe that there is nothing on this map to worry about. If there's nothing to worry about, then why was I feeling so uneasy? Why was I dreading the fact that I had to keep exploring, even when I felt creeped out and had goosebumps? Another thing I'd like to mention is about Shadow Dante's video, when he spots his first ghost. He went to the hotel next to spawn and went into the elevator and went to the 3rd floor. When the doors opened up, he walks straight and sees a door that he is not able to open up, so he has to no-clip in there. I followed his steps to see if I could trigger a ghost sighting, but sadly nothing was seen. But something was heard. In Shadow Dante's video, he has no desktop sound when he's recording, so at that point I assumed that there's nothing audio-wise that I should be scared of, but I guess I was wrong. This is what happened when I went into the hotel. Did you hear that? If not, I'll play it again with enhanced audio. It sounds like a woman crying or catching her breath. It definitely made me jump when recording. I was not expecting this, and when doing my research, I didn't see anything that had to do with noises. Every video you find about Garry's mod always has music playing over it, and the game sound is never on. In another section of Shadow Dante's video, he's walking by some train tracks and jumps down onto them. But while he's falling in midair, the camera picks up a giant entity hiding in the shadows to the left of him. Once he lands on the ground, he looks back almost like he kind of saw it. I, of course, went to the same area and decided to give it a look. So, yeah, basically saw nothing. Absolutely nothing. Moving to another sighting, this ghost was seen in a hallway down in the sewers. Now, let's go to Shadow Dante's video again real quick. He's walking down these ramp-like stairs until he stops and sees a skull on the ground that he's never seen there before. He looks at it and talks about how he's never seen it, but shortly after he stands up and keeps on walking further down. When he was running down the hallway, there seemed to be a ghost lurking around the corner, but yet again, he doesn't see it and presses on. Just like the rest of this video, I must remain skeptical. In order to believe it, I must see it for myself, so I alt-tabbed back into Garry's mod and went down into the sewers to see what I could find. Taking a look back at the video, you don't see a skull, nor a ghostly figure, but that's what I was kind of expecting. Also, like a minute later, he finds a baby doll and throws it in the water, and it disappears. So I guess that's spooky. Shadow Dante's video ends with useless exploration of him looking for some more stuff, and also this screenshot. I strongly believe that there is no paranormal entities haunting this map. The creator who died is not haunting the map. But what I can say is that this map does give off a strange feeling of canopsia and scopophobia, even when in a video game. If you have Counter-Strike Source, you should be able to play this map, and I encourage you to do so by yourself and see what you find or what you feel when exploring. If you did that or have had a previous experience in this map, please comment down below. We'd love to read some stories. But let's move on to the next map. The next part of my investigation will lead me to a map called Gmod13Hotel. It has the word hotel in the title of the map, but these buildings are far from a hotel, and just by looking at it, I bet you could even agree too. All seems normal at the top, but down below there's a floor that's almost like a basement, and it's made to spook you out. Some people have said that there's a strange humanoid creature called Ratman that lives and wanders in the scary section of the map, and apparently he kills you if he touches you. Now, who exactly is Ratman? In the real world, this is how the lore of the Ratman goes. The story was that he was an old and homeless man, and he was barely even able to walk. One night, a group of teenagers beat him half to death and stole his blanket, the only real source of warmth he had. Dying from his injuries and the biting cold of the night, he succumbed to hypothermia, his stiffening corpse nibbled and gnawed on by the numerous vermin who inhabited the area. That's a pretty brutal story, but when I originally read that, I realized that the story couldn't match up with whatever is walking around down there. But maybe something similar happened to somebody and now they're destined to wander a basement where they wait for their next victim to get curious and touch them. The next section will be me reviewing video footage of a YouTuber wandering the area. We will start when he's in the basement area. He walks to some planks and starts breaking them. And when he enters, it appears to be a small room with a fire and a single chair. He then walks away to a metal platform and uses a couch to prop float himself to some hole in the wall. In this part of the video, Vancouver says how Ratman escaped from prison in 1994, and he came to this hotel where he lived every day since then. The amount of lore backing this story is little to none, but towards the end, he runs into the stalker model that's used in the Half-Life series. Other than that, I could not find a single thing about Ratman and who he is or why he was in prison. But I know that I do want to explore this map and see if the legend of Ratman exists. This next section of the video will be me exploring the map without any commentary or music. Just like the last exploration clip, it could be a little long, that's why I put timestamps in the description. Well, that was a little creepy. I'm not too sure why this multiplayer map could turn into such a weird and horror-like adventure map. I think it's a very cool concept, and I can't say I'm slightly satisfied with the results I found. But sadly, there isn't any other lore surrounding this map that I could find, so this is just about it. Did I get a creepy feeling while exploring? Yeah, for sure. But did I feel like I was being watched? No. Honestly, I just feel like the design on the bottom half is basically a horror adventure map that you would normally see, except it's just missing its kind of like storyline key elements that you'd normally see in these types of maps. I'm not going to sit here and name all of them, but you get what I mean if you've played on them before. So I have a couple reasons why I think this map feels the way it does when you explore it. And just because it's dark, it tells you about the myth of Ratman. The ambience also really helps. The jump scare at the end, and the pistol. I was already feeling what any other normal person would be feeling while walking into the depths of some unknown tunnel in the dark, but when I found the pistol, it made me feel like I needed to protect myself, but for what reason? Who knows? Maybe I'm just thinking a little bit too much again, huh? All I can say is that this map is 10 out of 10 for me, and I'll definitely be playing on it again in the future. I have nothing else to say about this map, so let's continue on to the next one. This next map is pretty spooky based on my research so far. GM Shambles could also be described as a liminal map. And for those who don't know what this means, there's a video game term called no-clipping, and it's when you're able to fly through walls / barriers that you normally couldn't. Sometimes players cheat the system and are able to no-clip in video games where they're able to find Easter eggs or other hidden meanings that you usually couldn't find without the use of no-clip. It's a little hard to describe the exact meaning of liminal spaces while I'm in the process of learning them myself, so to make up for the lack of knowledge on the subject, I'll play a short video containing some examples of liminal spaces. I hope this gives you a slightly better idea, but if you have no clue what this means and felt disturbed when watching it, then that means it worked. If you want to learn more about it, you can check the descriptions for all the links for the videos and pictures I used, along with some fun articles, or you can search it up on YouTube after you watch this video. There's another fear that I think ties into liminal spaces. It's a fear called autophobia, which means a dread of being alone or isolated. Sufferers need not be physically alone, but just to believe that they are ignored or unloved. And one thing with liminal spaces is that once you enter them by accidentally no-clipping into a wall, it means you can't go back to reality unless you have a chance of doing it again, which is a very low chance. That means you're also stuck wherever you are, by yourself, alone and forever wandering this place that makes you feel strange. So, imagine being stuck in a place like this and not being able to find your way out. The idea of liminal spaces can easily be created using Photoshop, where the inside of some buildings are almost set up to look like them just by how they were built or furnished. So, with all that out of the way, I want you to keep in mind what I told you and what you saw and apply it like I will as I explore the map in a bit. Just like some of the other maps that I've reviewed, the creator of this one died. Now, when I say this, I don't mean to say it like the creator's dead and he's haunting the game, or some messed up stuff like that. I just mean it definitely does help out the creep factor, and I do like to overthink these creepy scenarios. So, who exactly is the creator of this map? His name is Fardomatictron on Steam, and he intentionally made this map scary because even in the description it says, added sound for creep factor. And upon scrolling down, the comments are filled with words such as, rest in peace, rip, great map, rest in peace, etc. Apparently his death was proven because Fardo had a brother, and his brother got on his account and was able to prove who he was or something like that. I can't find the comment anywhere, but it was the only one I saw that was alluding to his death, so I can't be sure what really happened there. While reading the comments, I decided to take a look at the discussions for this map, and a couple of them talk about how the map is haunted and people see ghosts. When researching for this section, I couldn't find anything too solid or real. It was all investigational videos that seemed to be faked on purpose. There's nothing wrong with having good fun, but it doesn't help me or anyone else on whether or not this map truly has something lurking and watching. Speaking of watching, I want to make it clear that Downtown RP is the only map I've investigated so far where I was feeling watched. Some maps are a little spooky, but there's just something off about Downtown RP, so let's hope this map has the same. There is this video a couple years back that was posted on YouTube where these two friends downloaded and explored GM Shambles when it kind of first came out. The creator of this map, Fardo, ended up commenting on his video and thanked him for playing on his map. His YouTube name is Paulomatictron, and the link for his channel is down below if you want to check it out. Or you can search it up right there in the bar. I checked his channel out and he only had one video posted, so let's watch it. He seems like he was just a happy kid with a camera, trying to have fun. It's a little chilling and sad watching this video and knowing a few years later he ended up passing away. I just want to say thank you, Fardo, for making such a cool and spooky map. This next section will be me exploring GM Shambles with no music or voice audio. Exploration could be long and timestamps are in the description in case it is, but I'll try to make it short. Alright, that was a little more disappointing than I thought. There's really not too much lore around this map except for Fardo passing away. But other than that, it's the cliche ghost sightings that everyone claims to see. I honestly felt nothing when walking around this map except for the general creepy vibe. To put in perspective, the map before this one, Gmod13 Hotel, was scarier or creepier than this one. As I walked around, I noticed that this map would be good for some sort of sandbox zombie adventure map, or the old-fashioned zombie survival game mode. I do like the map, but I originally thought this was going to fit the theme of the video, and now I really don't think it did, but I liked it enough to keep it. The next map is a well-known and classic map. GM Construct. One of the maps you already have installed after downloading the game for the first time. It has been around for years and has gone through tons of different versions. But back in one of the old versions, someone had claimed to see a burnt model or a G-Man haunting the Construct map. It is not promised that you will see such a figure because it was a hoax in the first place. If you have Garry's mod, I'd say load up single player and Construct. After a while, you'll start to feel uneasy and feel like you're being stared at. Why players feel this way in the map is unknown, but after the first old Bandicam videos came out in like 2010 of players spotting a ghost, it seems like they pop up all the time now. Some make memes out of it while others try to fake it and get away with it. But for this map, I'm just gonna see how it makes me feel. Do I think I'll see some sort of black figure or ghost? No, but we'll see. Here's the construct footage. It'll be just like all the other ones. There'll be no voice audio or music, and it will be rather short. This was actually kind of a strange one. Like I said earlier, my thoughts about this map were pessimistic. I didn't think I was going to get spooked out like I did. I started the map like normally and basically felt nothing, just like the last map, until I got to that stupid dark room. The sounds of birds chirping vanished and it turned into an empty and somewhat industrial fan-like noise. And that's when I started to get a slight anxiety feeling, to the point where my own footsteps were starting to scare me. Why did I feel fine until I got to that room? I ended up having to run out of there and tried looking back on the stairs, but I ended up having to go outside until light. That wasn't even going to cut it for me because I instantly pressed escape and quit the game, because at that point I got just about everything I needed. So that just about wraps up all the maps I'll be exploring in this video. Time to move on to our conclusion. In conclusion, I feel as if every map definitely has its own vibes going for it, and I can't deny it. I made this video knowing that most of the sightings others see are fake, and I believe players are just scaring themselves, and there's really nothing to worry about. No one can haunt a game. It's not possible. But what I still can't seem to figure out a logical question for is why GM Construct and Downtown RP both make you feel the way you do. It's like someone's watching you, or you're expecting someone to be around the corner even though you're by yourself. The same people that get scared by big bodies of water in video games, in other words me, are the same people that get creeped out by maps like this. I also think it's like some sort of childlike imagination. Imagining there's some ghost stalking your every move is pretty thrilling, or even asking yourself what if scenarios could spice up your Garry's Mod gameplay. I understand it and have done the same with Minecraft and AZ. So, the last questions I'll ask myself is, do I think these maps are haunted? No, none of them are. They are just made a certain way to creep you out. Do I believe any of these sightings are real? No. I truly believe all of these are fake, no questions about it. Why do these maps creep people out so much? Maybe it's the feeling of being alone and overthinking that you're being watched. But overall, this was a fun project and an investigation. I'm mostly plain-faced at some of the outcomes I witnessed, and I expected most of them. Anyways, everyone, this is going to be it for this video. If you've gotten this far, then I'm amazed. I want to kiss you. We recently passed 400 subscribers a few weeks back, and I wasn't really able to properly thank anybody for that, so thank you guys for that. It means a lot to me. If I don't upload for a bit, it's because I'm attempting to do quality over quantity, so let me know how you liked the video and what your theory about these maps are. I would also like to say rest in peace to all of the creators who made the maps and have ended up passing away.